Podium Cinema ni wọ́n tún gbé dé. Podium Cinema lórí YouTube ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn kẹ́ ẹ subscribe. Ibẹ̀ lẹ́tì mọ̀ wọ àwọn àjẹ́ àbálẹ̀ fíìmù ẹ̀dọ̀kí fíìmù tó léfò gan tààrà. Podium Cinema mo bẹ́rí fún yín fíìmù 9 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n kó jáde o àwọn gbàǹkọ́gbé fíìmù èkíní májẹ̀mú ẹ̀gbọ́n èkejì my wet ẹ̀kẹta ọmọ ẹni ẹ̀kẹrin àlàmú èkó ẹ̀karùn-ún àìmọ̀ ṣẹ̀wárí pé nǹkan kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ràgó ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lẹ́ti kẹjù èdè Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àwọn fíìmù yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà sẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn-án èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀kẹfà tẹ́mà èkeje the casting ẹ̀kẹjọ M1 the detective ẹ̀kẹsàn 100 M1 the detective at 100 orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn Podium International Podium Cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí Facebook wọ́n wà lórí Instagram Podium Cinema ó ti dọbẹ̀ ẹ subscribe.
Good afternoon and welcome to our program Matters Arising. I'm here by myself today, so please pardon me because I'll have to run quite a lot of things by myself, as you can see. So there might be some little interruption, but not to distract from the program. I believe we will still get the full benefits. So we've not been on for some time now, perhaps due to some logistical reasons, and hopefully we'll be back. We'll be regular on air again for those of you that enjoy our program a lot. So thank you for joining us today's program. So what we're trying to look at some few issues, some few matters arising, which is our theme. And what we'll be looking at is banditry, terrorism. We see it a lot in our land these days, and a lot of people seem to not care. I don't know, maybe it's probably because they don't understand the enormity of what is going on, or they don't understand how will I call it? They don't understand the enormity of what is going on, or they are just not concerned, or they just feel they can't be bothered. But it's quite a worrisome affair when people who should know better are refusing to talk on the issue. So our first story would be that of Mamu. A lot of you may not know who is Mamu. I've tried to bring up a photo of him. Hopefully I can be able to share his photo here. So this man, so they say pictures speak 1,000 words. So we can see the vice presidential candidate in the middle, and we can see Sheikh Gumi, and this is Mamu. Mamu was arrested and some other few people who I may not know. So he was arrested on Wednesday, on the 7th of September by the DSS. There is no court case at the moment, as we have known. So what is the background story? We did bring a story, the story of the Kaduna train bombing and the kidnappings that ensued, and the negotiations that went on after that. We know that Sheikh Gumi has been the one negotiating with terrorists in Nigeria. And I don't know how a state actor, a cleric, would be a bandit or terrorist negotiator in a country where we have law enforcement agency. So what it shows is that all the law enforcement agencies do not work. They only work when they deem fit, which is not how law enforcement work, because the essence of law enforcement is to enforce law in the land. So the story is that they've been having over, I don't know whether it's $2 billion or 2 billion naira, but it's quite a lot of substantial amount of money. It's a substantial amount of money, billions in any currency, even in the worst currency, is quite a lot of money for especially when it comes to the lives of human beings. So a lot of people are just dead silent, and this should worry us. It should worry us because if it's not you today, it may be somebody close to you that you know tomorrow. And those who it has affected, uh, some have lost their lives, some came out because the ransom was paid or something. But it shows that we are in a broken system and in a broken country. Now I'm going to play an audio for us so we can feel the gravity of what is going on. So we see this young boy here, Jomiloju. This boy has been kidnapped for some few days now, and we've not. I don't know whether he's been released. So the kidnappers are asking for 30 million naira. Otherwise, they say they're not going to kill him, but they're going to starve him to death. So to put it in context, if we're using 600, which is not the official rate anyway, if we're using 600 to calculate, that is $50,000 ransom that they are asking for people who are earning the minimum wage in Nigeria is about 30,000 naira, and the average wage. So average wage is not the minimum wage. So the average wage based on Nigeria GDP, which is around $2,500 a year, would amount to around 120,000 naira. 120,000 naira. So if you divide 120,000 naira by the 600, that's about $200. $200. So you're asking people in a country where the average wage is $200 and the minimum wage is about $30 to go and pay a ransom of 50,000 naira, maybe $50,000. Maybe I'm talking. Let's listen to the boy's voice and see. This is not the first, by the way.
I'm hearing you, sir. That bad matter I just me that time. You know, like that bad matter. And now you talk. I don't understand Hausa. I thought you will speak Hausa. That is why I called that my brother. I don't know that you'll be speaking pidgin. I'm going to tell you that time. 200. You know they like it more money. Sorry. You can hear me, right? Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. If he go and sell the guy or motor, if you want to get sell and go give it the money, now we calculate the money. You know, give it the big money. That is the kid, hungry go kill him. Me, you know, go kill him. That's not my boy. Now, hungry go kill him. What you concern me? Did you hear me, Van? Yeah, they hear you. If you now one more, if you don't, you know, give it the money. That is the kid, I know go give it. You know, go give it food. Anything you want, you know, go give it. You go give water. You go give it water. Good nothing. You there for bush. Sorry, I beg, Oga. I beg. You know, go enter the lady. I beg. I think about it. I swear to God. The person who are for. Why you tell me how much you pay? 400,000.
400. I beg. If 400 is never day, I won't solicit for help. Make I gather that 400,000. Come give you. I beg.
400,000. You have 400,000. Go punish you.
I beg.
You try and make a city go carry and go to the area.
Huh.
You hear me, Bam?
I did hear you, Oga.
So this is the negotiation. The father of the guy is appealing to pay 400,000 naira, and the terrorist is pouring swear words on him. So
yes, sir.
The terrorist is saying he is not going to kill the child, but he is going to allow the child to starve to death. So he's pulling conscience now into the matter that he's not going to kill the child, but he's going to allow the child to starve to death, and has asked the father to go and sell everything he has. This is a heartbreaking story, in case you don't know. And this is not the first. This is not the first time we've heard stories like this coming out from Nigeria. So this is the child now.
Come and take 30 million naira.
Beg them that I've been looking for 400,000. Beg them.
They cannot allow.
They will not allow.
Take 30 million naira, please.
All right.
And you could hear the little child screaming and begging.
I will go and sell it.
Daddy, sell your car, sell everything you have in the house. I can bet you, that if the father was to take everything he has, he's not even going to raise 2 million. If he takes everything, his pot, his pan, his bedsheet, except maybe he's got a landed property, and those things, they are not things you can sell immediately. But if he takes all his chattel, everything in his house, I can bet you he's not going to realize 2 million.
Don't worry.
Look at the innocent boy screaming. For a country where the average salary is $200,
Okay.
you are asking victims and their family to provide $50,000. $50,000, 30 million naira. $50,000, 30 million naira. Now, this is the irony of the story. That is a terrorist negotiator, a spokesman for Sheikh Gumi, and look at them standing side by side with the vice presidential candidate of Nigeria. And the international community is just watching. We are not alarmed. We've taken it like a norm. We've taken it like, yeah, it happens every day. Who cares? What does it matter? It does. Like I said, today it is the father of Jomiloju. Who will it be tomorrow? And that is the reason why we need, when people are advocating that they want their own Biafra nation, they want their own Yoruba nation, it is because they want things like this to stop. They want things like this to stop. Now, the Ondo State governor, he was screaming and shouting and saying he wants to end, he wants the Amotekun to carry sophisticated weapon. I don't know how he's going to achieve that, because it feels like our governors don't read history. And the Nigerian setup, the colonial setup was that these people must never be provided with arms to defend themselves. That was the colonial setup. And that is what we are still practicing today. And that is what we are a victim of today. And somebody is hand in cap begging to say, let my people carry sophisticated weapons. I tell you what, as the governor of a state, you have the right to protect everybody in your state using every means possible. You do not need permission from the government in Abuja. You do. I think we are missing the point here as a Yoruba people. Our governors should wake up to their responsibility and protect the lives of property, else there will be every innocent person that dies in that land, their blood is in their head. If the 10 governors of Yoruba speaking states in Nigeria, Edo, Delta, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Kwara, Kogi, cannot come together and say enough is enough. Look at Autumn. Autumn licensed his militia to start carrying AK-47. It shows that it is the laziness of our people that is causing us this, the laziness of our governors that is causing us this great pain, and not the problem of Abuja. Because I tell you what, if those 10 governors can come together and say, we are enacting a law, we're passing it within the next 7 days, and let Amoteku, the state militia security provider, carry weapons to protect our people up and down the states, I don't think Abuja would cough. They say he who pays the piper dictates the tune. We cannot be contributing huge amount of resources to Nigeria, and then our life will be threatened every day. So I believe everything happening to anybody, whether it's a Yoruba man, whether it's a Fulani man, whether it's an Hausa man, whether it's a Calabar man, whether that is living in Yoruba state, anything happening to them is on the head of the leaders of the Yoruba states. Because it is their responsibility to provide adequate security for their people. Who needs a federal police? It's just like saying, let Britain provide police for Nigeria. How is that possible? So if any crime happens in Nigeria, you wait for British police to come. I mean, it doesn't make sense. That is exactly what we're doing now. So if anything happens in Ondo State, we wait for Abuja to give directive before the people can be chased and arrested. Is that what they're saying? Pass it in your state house of assembly and let the federal government come and hoodwink you and let the people rise up. It shows that those people who are leading us knows nothing about our history, knows nothing about our customs, and knows nothing about our traditions. To wait for people in Abuja to give you license on a fraudulent constitution, a constitution that was not placed before the people. I just hope common sense will prevail, and the governors will know that their responsibility is to protect lives and not take away lives. Before I go, it will bring me to my final story today, which is the passing away of late Queen Elizabeth II. Like her or loathe her, she was and remains the longest serving monarch in Great Britain. And I've read quite a lot of stories, some from sympathizers and some from so I'll say some from unsympathizers. And I get the two sides of the story. A lot of people in Africa, on the African continent, in India, and except you in all these countries where they are impoverished, and even in Iraq, you don't know the extent of both slavery and colonization. For those of us who have witnessed that, we feel that pain. And a lot of people are feeling the pain, not because it's something that's happened and we can put to bed and we can move on. It's because it's something that is still ongoing systematically. It happens systematically, but it was in a full glare. But now it's not happening systematically, overtly, and covertly. And a lot of people are not happy. And I get their pain because I feel that pain too. On the other hand, we have a lot of people who sympathize with the Queen. Queen Elizabeth, for all intents and purposes, for me, I see her as a good person because she's got a kind heart. And a Christian faith has built some sort of compassion in her that she has radiated. Now, I agree totally that Britain and British officials need to be blamed for the horrible things that has happened both in Africa and several other places in the world. But we need to take responsibilities, like I just mentioned in our last two stories. When governments of countries that have sworn to protect their people fail to protect their people, you leave them to be vulnerable to, forgot this terminology, you leave them to become vulnerable to exploitation. And that is why we have a lot of people trying to get out of their home. I wouldn't say their comfort zone, trying to get out of their home into places that then put them in a vulnerable situation. So we have a lot of people who are trying to cross the Mediterranean today as we speak, putting their lives at risk, not knowing whether they're going to make this crossing, not knowing whether even after they make the crossing, they're going to get the life that they have been promised, not knowing whether once they even get to where they are going, they can even get to make it out. Many people cross the English Channel. At the end of the day, they end in a concentration camp, in prisons for years and years, not even seeing daylight. Many people cross into Italy. Many people cross into Greece, into Turkey, dying in the process and not seeing daylight. Our people, our elected officials at home needs to take responsibilities. They need to take, we know our ancestors have done some horrible things. The English ancestors too have done horrible things. But let's look at where we are now. Where we are. Look at the corruption going on in Africa. When people want to build schools, they build one school for themselves to get their children what they want, and that's all. They don't care about the people in the rural area. They don't care about facilities in the rural area. And it makes it really difficult. It makes it really difficult. But in all, when somebody dies, I feel, in my opinion, is to pay respect to the dead. May the souls of our ancestors rest in perfect peace, and may the soul of Queen Elizabeth also find rest wherever she may be. And may God give the family the fortitude to bear the loss. And hopefully, the family too can come out one day to sincerely apologize for everything that has happened through during the slave trade era, and most especially the colonialization. Colonialism should never have happened. But the irony is it happened before and it's still ongoing. It is that ongoing that we need to stop. And that is one of the reasons why we are advocating for an independent Yoruba nation. Because the arrangement the British left, the French left, the Belgian left, is not an arrangement that favors Africa. So what they could do now for Africa as a matter of help is to ensure that they help Africa stand on their feet and not try and suppress Africa. It's not to try and suppress Africa. If Africa continues to be on the back burner of international development, then it doesn't make any room for equity and justice, fairness, the liberties that the French were fighting for. It doesn't build an egalitarian society. It builds oligarchy, it builds nepotism, it builds feudalism, it builds fascism. And those things need to stop. And people need to be allowed to do their things in their way without interference. In Africa today, and especially Nigeria, we've now got a situation where dialogue no longer sorts matter. And everybody is now resorting into violence. And when violence begins to reign, then we know that it doesn't bring about a solution. So for those who are deeply, deeply, deeply saddened, and I myself am saddened, I would say one thing we could do is to start working towards complete emancipation. We shouldn't wait until somebody dies before we start fighting for what truly and rightfully belongs to us, which is liberty. And liberty to life is a God-given gift, and it's non-negotiable. So let's start fighting for it. Let's believe in it. Let's hope in it. And by God's grace, we will then have it. I'm going to end the broadcast here for today. So hopefully we will catch up again. Same time, same place, same station next week. God bless you.
lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́ làbẹ̀wò ìkúkú dùkú lóko podium international wọ́n ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ látìgbà tí wọ́n ti ń bàbọ̀ wọn ò fìgbà kan tẹ́rì o wọ́n ti wá ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bẹ̀bẹ̀ dé podium cinema ni wọ́n tún gbé dé podium cinema lórí YouTube ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn kẹ́ ẹ subscribe ibẹ̀ lẹ́tì mọ̀ wọ àwọn àjá àbálẹ̀ fíìmù ẹ̀dọ̀kí fíìmù tó léfo gan tààrà podium cinema mo bẹ́rí fún yín fíìmù mẹ́sàn-án ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n kó jáde o àwọn gbàǹkọ́gbé fíìmù èkíní májẹ̀mú ẹ̀gbọ́n èkejì my wet ẹ̀kẹta ọmọ ẹni ẹ̀kẹrin àlàmú èkó ẹ̀karùn-ún àìmọ̀ ṣe wá rí pé nǹkan kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ràgbó ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lẹ́ti kẹjù èdè Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àwọn fíìmù yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà sẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn-án èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀kẹfà tẹ́mà èkeje the casting ẹ̀kẹjọ M1 the detective ẹ̀kẹsàn-án 100 M1 the detective at 100 orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn podium international podium cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí.